All right, y'all. Today we're going to take a look at this boudoir photography business. We're going to check out its local search, its city search, and we're going to see if it's got BSS, yes or no. So we're back here in the GBC universe where we're taking declining boudoir photographers to the #1 boudoir photographer in their city. Our North Star, as always, is FSIC, full spectrum intent capture. More on that, pinned video here in the profile, somewhere around here. And that's because FSIC explains why all boudoir photographers either rise or fall. So we got our FSIC graph here in white, got our highest intent people way over on the left. There's the people searching on Google and social search for, boudoir photo shoot in their city. And they're searching that literally right now. And we talked about that here with BSS. Those are the only videos we talk about here. And way over on the right, we got the lowest intent peeps. So those are the peeps that ain't searching for a boudoir photo shoot in their city right now. And many of them, most of them actually have no idea what the heck boudoir even is. So we reached them with, interruption ads via Facebook and Instagram. But we only talk about that on our sister brand, Boudoir FB Ad Doctor, where we talk about BLCS. And right now we're currently only working with boudoir photographers running more than 10 grand a month in boudoir Facebook ads. So BSS is boudoir search sameness. So when a boudoir photographer has either 0 or 1 slots on page 1 on Google, 0 slots extra bad because approximately 80% of Google searches never reach page 2. So they're page 1 and done searches. And as a result, for on page 2, we're invisible to approximately 4/5 of the market. So, our business is dying. We'll be dying pretty fast. And as a result, only 1 slot on Google page 1 is bad as well because there's 10 organic slots page 1 on Google, and there's probably gonna be 9 other boudoir photographers, and guess what? Everyone else is probably gonna have 1 slot, so we don't stand out. And what's a buyer gonna do? They're gonna click open everyone's website, get a quote from everyone, price shop everyone, compare everyone, blah blah blah, negotiate, drive down margins, ask for a lower price. It's really, really, kind of awful for businesses. And 0-1 slots on page 1 Google is actually not normal. It's a symptom of 2 deeper root causes. And those 2 deeper root causes are, number 1, market saturation, and number 2, the false belief of page 1 equality. So market saturation, yeah, most people know about this, Over time, people get new iPhone, they get new cameras. And, some of those peeps, they throw up the Google Maps, my business profile. They say, yeah, I shoot boudoir now. Some, they also throw up their websites on Google, or throw up their websites saying they're a boudoir photographer, and they're trying to rank page 1 on Google, competing with us, and they're posting in the mom Facebook groups saying that, basically saying that they offer boudoir shoots now. So it's basically, saturation, more boudoir photographers, more sellers for the same number of buyers makes it harder for every single seller. That happened a ton during COVID. A lot of people lost their job, but guess what? Everyone's got a super powered smartphone with awesome camera. So a ton of flood of boudoir photographers came into the market. Now, falsely page 1 equality, basically no one knows about this yet. This is where boudoir photographers have basically accepted, or, kind of assumed that, every boudoir photographer gets either 0 or 1 slots page 1 on Google. And as a result, maybe they're in slot 8 on page 1. Then there's some market saturation. Some people ranked above them in their new websites. Now they're slot 3 on page 2, and they're like, oh, well, it's normal. Every boudoir photographer gets either 0 or 1 slot on, page 1 on Google. And so sitting there hoping that a few of those peeps, delete their website and Google de-indexes it so they can hopefully get back onto page 1. But this is 100% the wrong belief, the wrong thought process, because we've actually learned through testing that Google will give us as many slots on page 1 as we want, as we put in the effort for. So, and we've learned this because I went from 0 out of 10 slots page 1 on Google to 9 out of 10 slots page 1 on Google in only 10 days using our new methodology we developed. So that's why I know the false belief of page 1 quality is exactly that, a false belief. Next, we know a boudoir photographer with BSS is a disappearing boudoir photographer, a DBP. So yeah, BSS 0-1 slots page 1 Google search, We got zero slots for invisible. It's approximately 80% of Google searches, approximately 80% of the market. Obviously, we're disappearing. If we only got one slot on page one of Google, we blend in with everyone else. Everyone else has got one slot on page one of Google. We're not looking at anything special. We're essentially invisible as well. In both these cases, disappearing boudoir photographer is literally a warning light, a flashing signal, a canary in the coal mine, where it means our boudoir photography business itself is on its way to disappearing. So what we've discovered is BSS is treated with social search saturation, aka S cubed methodology. And we discovered this because we invented it. And it works exactly as it says. We saturate social search with the highest boudoir buyer intent keywords in our city. So we rank there as many slots as we can. And this is kind of like the ice or the snow at the top of the Andes Mountains on the backside, the east side down in South America. So that snow, what it does is it melts off the backside. And when it melts off the backside, it goes into small streams, forms small rivers, and eventually all that water collects into the Amazon River. The Amazon River is page one on Google. But everything starts up top with social search saturation, S cubed methodology. And this is the only solution I've seen for boudoir photographers that can actually allow them to have a chance to still grow their business in the presence of massive and increasing market saturation. The only other, and to give them that shot in a relatively quick time frame, the only other thing solution I've heard for that, solving this problem, is actually have a large, well-known brand, but that takes like 5 to 10 years, so that kills the relatively quickly kind of property. And we ain't got 5 to 10 years, dude. AI is here. AI is taking people's jobs. We got to fortify our position in the market right now. And actually, through my estimation, I believe SQ methodology can actually speed up the creation of a large, well-known brand by, my estimate is 8x, 8 times normal. It's because we're going to be seen on so many surfaces, ranking so many places, being seen everywhere. That's my estimates. So imagine if you're you got a large, well-known brand and you're using SQ methodology. I mean, you're basically essentially unbeatable. So now we're going to go through an example of basically of, let's say we're in, all right, we are going to Salt Lake City, Utah, SLC. Let's say there's 1 million boudoir photographers there. We're one of them. Everybody's got their, boudoir photographer website. And they say that, well, everyone's trying to rank page one on Google, so massive competition there. And we're like, dude, we ain't got no brand. We actually got SQ methodologies are our only hope to compete here. So let's say we crank up SQ methodology to the max, and we're ranking for the first 300 keywords for the highest boudoir buyer intent keywords in our city. And we're taking the first 300 slots on social search, which then flows on to Google search. And Google search is, 10 slots per page, 10 organic slots. So we are, we are actually taking basically the first 30 pages on Google. So basically anytime any boudoir buyer searches for boudoir anywhere in our city or digitally, we're basically the only one they can find on social search or Google search. So whose business will be growing even if there's 1 million total boudoir photographers in the city? Most likely ours, because we're essentially the only one that can be found. We're blocking everyone else out. So, and whose businesses will be disappearing and, slowing down? Obviously, the 999,999 other boudoir photographer competitors in Salt Lake City, Utah. So this is, that'd be like S cubed to the max, but this is the opportunity SQ methodology gives a chance to happen by using it. Now, once you're with SQ methodology, we have page one visibility, P1V. So obviously we get the initial benefit of more slots page one on Google. We also get another initial benefit, which actually boudoir photographers really like this one, where every new slot we get on Google page one, we're actually kicking a competing boudoir photographer off page one, effectively making them invisible. Because again, now we know approximately 80% of Google searches never even hit page two. They're page one and done searches. So we're essentially making these boudoir photographers invisible to approximately 80% of the market. So the bulk of the market, basically, 4/5 of people, that's basically everyone. And page one visibility activates boudoir search visibility for us, BSV. And this is where the GBC universe recommends having 3 out of 10 slots page 1 of Google search. That's because everyone else, all the other boudoir photographers, basically everyone else is going to have 1 slot, so we're going to be looking way better than them. Our 3 slots to their 1. And the off chance, the very, very rare chance, somebody has 2 slots, yeah, we're going to be dominating them as well. And a boudoir photographer with BSV is a visible boudoir photographer, a VBP. So this is our micro universe here. A disappearing boudoir photographer with boudoir search sameness is caused by the dual horns of market saturation and the false belief of page 1 equality. We finally have a solution, S cubed methodology. We achieve page 1 visibility, we become a visible boudoir photographer with boudoir search visibility. Now my results using S cubed methodology here. So I want to rank for the term right here, BLCS boudoir. I wanted to dominate page 1 for this. So I started with 0 out of 10 slots, page 1, Google search. I utilized S cubed methodology for 10 straight days. And let's see my results. So we got organic slot 1, Instagram, me. Slot 2, me. Slot 3, me. Slot 4, me. Slot 5, me. Slot 6, me. Slot 7, me. Slot 8, me. Slot 10, me. So from 0 to 10 slots, Google search page 1 to 9 out of 10 slots, Google search page 1 in only 10 days, purely utilizing S cubed methodology. Now, all right, main event here. I'm going to see if this boudoir photography business has BSS for its its local search and its city search. Also going to see if it is hitting the recommended GBC minimum of 3 out of 10 slots, page 1 on Google. All right, so we're going to Rancho Cordova, California. All right, so here we go. We're in Rancho Cordova, California, and let's see what we got. Let's see what we got. No, that doesn't count. All right, so we got 0 out of 10. So we got BSS for our local search, and we are not hitting the GBC recommended minimum. 3 out of 10 slots, page 1 on Google. We're going to go to our city search now, larger city search, Sacramento, California. Let's check it out here. Let's see. All right, we got 1. Boom. Nice. City's always harder than local. So, all right, we got 1 out of 10. And let's see. All right, so we got 1 out of 10 local. So we do still got BSS for that one. All right, so final result, we got so local we got 0 out of 10. So we got BSS. City we got 1 out of 10. We also have BSS in for both. We did not hit the GBC recommended minimum of 3 out of 10 slots, page 1 on Google. So if you are a disappearing boudoir photographer and you actually want to, so you did the local search for yourself, highest intent buyer keywords for boudoir photo shoot in your city, and you saw it, and you did a local search and city search, and either you had BSS boudoir search sameness, or you simply did not reach the GBC recommended minimum of 3 out of 10 slots on page 1 in Google for either one or both of those searches. And you finally see that S cubed methodology is your one path, your one solution forward out of everything. And you came to that conclusion because you realized, yeah, the false belief of page 1 equality is exactly that. It's false. So you broke through. Now you're like, okay, what are the ways I can take as many slots on page 1 on Google as possible? And you realize Google PPC ads ain't going to cut it because they only give you 1 extra slot, PPC at the top, even if there's 2 slots available. And the momentum dies once you stop paying. With S cubed saturation, there is still momentum. Not infinite momentum, but there's still momentum with the strategy that will, keep the positions for a time. And so you like that. You like that you can get way more slots on page 1 than having, doing Google PPC. And you also understand the market saturation. Yeah, the 2 prongs, someone gets a new phone, iPhone, someone gets a new camera. Yeah. But they see this 3rd prong coming. And the 3rd prong you actually care about is, the 3rd prong you actually care about is the AI taking people's jobs, as people still got to earn money, and everyone's got to, smartphone with a great camera on it, it's going to be forcing way, way, way more boudoir photographers into the market, or at least way, way, way more people into the market to offer boudoir photography. Maybe they're new boudoir photographers. And so you like the initial benefits, getting more slots on Google. You like the initial extra benefit of kicking competitors off page one of Google so that they're relegated to page two, effectively invisible to approximately 80% of Google searches. Makes them disappear. They become a disappearing boudoir photographer, which means in short order their business will be disappearing as well. And you actually want the fortification benefits to prepare for AI bringing more and more boudoir photographers into the marketplace. And when you do that, again, executed methodology is the only solution that allows boudoir photographers to do that. It's kind of like building a levee like New Orleans has, because it's below sea level, so they build a the sandbag levee, keep the ocean out. And so you decide you're going to do this for your boudoir photography business. Keep the ocean of supply of boudoir photographers out of your turf, page one of Google. So you see an executed methodology is literally the only solution for you. Decide this is what you want to do to move forward with your business, to achieve page one visibility, to become a visible boudoir photographer, to have boudoir search visibility, because you know you need these things in order to become the number one boudoir photographer in your city. And you also like the secret back-end benefits of the SQ methodology as well that we have not talked about yet. But the first one's being every single day we successfully execute SQ methodology, what's actually happening is we're building these invisible thematic keyword columns attached to our business, attached to our brand, attached to our website name, kind of our full name, our business name. And these only live in the AI mindshare, kind of the AI brain. And every day we successfully execute methodology, we're actually increasing the probability that we show up as the premium slot, the one boudoir photographer recommended in the AI overview here at the top of Google search. So that's one extended benefit, or further away benefit. The second further away benefit is, again, where every day we successfully execute methodology, we're increasing the probability all these different AI search options recommend us in their, in AI search. When someone's AI searching for boudoir photographer in their city, this is ChatGPT, Claude, Anthropic, and Microsoft Copilot, and Google Gemini. We're increasing the probability we get recommended these every day we do SQ methodology because we're building the invisible thematic keyword columns attached to our business. Columns of the Parthenon, building Athens, Greece, or think of it, hub and spoke, building these spokes off our business. And this is like invisible mindshare for AI. And you're also seeing, you decide you're going to be the early adopter, first adopter in your city because A, my plan is to only work with one boudoir photographer per city, so you can close out all your competitors from using me by you hopping in with me. And B, that the more we execute daily on execute methodology, that the bigger initial benefits we get instantly, and also the bigger back-end momentum, AI mindshare benefits we get over time, creating a massive gap between you and all your competitors that they're basically never going to be able to catch up on. And so you decide to be a first mover in your city on that, because the converse is if a competitor works with me first, then they're going to be getting all those benefits, initial benefits, kicking you off page one, making you disappear, building up the AI mindshare in the back end. And for you to compete, you would have to rederive SQ methodology, which you'll never be 100% confident you've derived it correctly, to use correctly. You will have to then go execute SQ methodology equal to us executing every day with your competitor. And again, you'll never be 100% confident. So you probably most likely won't put in the effort to equal us. But even if you do, you equal our effort, okay, you're maintaining the gap that we've already built. So the gap being the same distance. So you'd have to double or triple our effort, our execution, utilizing SQ methodology, which I invented, to close the gap on us. Who's got that time? Who's got 80 hours in a day to do all that? So you decide, screw all that. It's better to simply be the first mover in my city, and let's actually lock this in and start getting these initial benefits and the delayed benefits, the invisible mindshare AI and the AI brain benefits. So that's you. Shoot me a DM. When my DMs open, my DMs are currently not open. The hospital is not currently accepting new patients, but if you when I do open the DMs, when I do open the hospital for new patient intake, shoot me a DM. And we will see if you qualify for using S cubed methodology.